Here is the Webcam 317A grind at 7,200 RPM. You can definitely see the effect of the big closing ramp just before it hits the seat. This is with my conical valve springs. And at this speed, I'm starting to see some separation over the peak lift, and it's causing a little bit of valve rotation, spring rotation. I'll go ahead and speed it up to about 7,800 RPM and see what happens. Here we are at 7,800 RPM. Definitely got some bounce now. Although the spring rotation seems to have stopped. I'll take it on up to about 8,500 for the next test. So here we are at 8,500. We've got a little bit of bounce, nothing too severe yet. Spring is still hanging in there, seeing some slight rotation. Not surprising considering the steep ramps that are on this cam. This is the highest lift, shortest duration cam I've ever seen in a Norton. This is the cam that was in Sir Eddie's rocket engine. I'll take it up to 9,000, see what happens. Here we are at 9,000. Definitely have some serious seat bounce, and I would call it total loss of spring control at this point. The spring is rotating and wobbling and not looking pretty at all. Seat bounce sometimes, and sometimes not so much seat bounce. Just depends on where the spring's at, I guess. But it's beyond its limit. Okay, we're back now. I have replaced the conical valve springs with the Honda valve springs that came on Sir Eddie's bike. Went along with the cam that's in here. And this is that ultra high lift short duration cam. It's running BSA followers, aluminum push rods, lightweight rockers. And here it is at 6,000 RPM. Valve wiggles around a lot when it's being lifted that high, but that plus the high spring pressure, the seat pressure is now roughly 125 pounds, up from the 95 that was on the conical springs. But don't see any bounce. So here we are at 7,200 RPM. Yeah, and we've already got bounce. Even with the higher seat pressure and the heavier spring, the bounce is setting in earlier than it was with the conical spring. I suspect that's because the cam is flexing and coming back and pushing the valve open when it rebounds. But I'll go ahead and take it up to 8,000. Here is 8,000 RPM. Got a pretty good bounce. The spring still seems to be in control though. I'm not seeing any rotation. I'll go ahead and take it up a little higher. I have a feeling that even with these heavy springs even, this isn't going to be happy over 7,500 or maybe 8,000 at the most. Here's 8,000 RPM or 8,500 RPM. And bounce is severe. Not seeing any spring rotation yet. I guess I'll go ahead and take it to 9. Here we are at 9,000 RPM. The spring is definitely unhappy and rotating. Got a lot of valve bounce. This is never going to do the job in a motor that they were hoping to run to 10,500 RPM.